So people have been applauding actress Ellen Pompeo for her recent interview that was conducted by Porter Magazine alongside she was with Gabrielle Union, Emma Roberts, and Gina Rodriguez. They were doing a women in television issue. And let's hear what she had to say while she was on the site.
This day has been incredible, and there's a ton of women in the room, but I don't see enough color, and I didn't see enough color when I walked in the room today.
So obviously she's echoing what a lot of people say, but as a white woman and one that made a lot of money for Grey's Anatomy and has been advocating for this sort of thing, it's a pretty powerful stance, especially to say it right then and there while they're in the room.
Absolutely. I mean, I think any person who is in power pointing out things that maybe aren't equal or using their power to bring up other people, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
I appreciate this statement. I appreciate it, not only her recognizing the importance, but having the bravery to step out and to make a statement, to take a stance, and hopefully help someone. Ultimately, I think it makes us all stronger together in terms of having representation and having that diversity in the room. It makes the room stronger.
I think for the people that have reached like the pinnacle of their careers, regardless of whatever race, creed, color, or sexual orientation you are, it's their role that they've made it to the top to look down the ladder and see the people that might need a little leg up, might need a little help, might not have that voice in the room. And for her in the moment to say, look, even right now, where we are right now, where I'm working for this shoot right now, it is not diverse enough. I think it's a big step, although I know that she's had some interesting comments in the past which might play into this as well.
Yeah. So I wanted to say I have white friends, and I have people that I've had discussions like with this, I've had discussions with like this, and they tell me that they don't always know how to be an ally for a community that they're not a part of. They don't know how to be an ally for the LGBTQ community or for the Black community, and so I think the key is to not only educate yourself, but this is also one example of how you can be an ally. Speaking up when you see something isn't right.
Right. I mean, even like I was in a conversation this last weekend with someone, and they were saying like it was a guy who basically equated a woman's worth to her looks, and he was saying like, oh yeah, like she looks like someone that used to be attractive or something like that. And so I just was like, it was uncomfortable because we were in a fun social situation. I go, would you say that about a guy?
Right.
Like, would you say that?
Yeah.
So I think just speaking up and saying anything, anytime you realize that, I mean, that's the first step. I think we all want to know how we can be better allies. Like, tell me how I can be a good ally, and I want to be.
That's a great point. I think speaking up is so, because we're always concerned about those awkward social moments. We're concerned about saying something right when we see something, but it is important to say something right there, to issue corrective behavior, or at least open up a dialogue about that. But Felicia, you bring up such a good point about knowing how to be an ally.
Yeah.
I think it does make people uncomfortable.
Like, I don't think it's a Black person's responsibility to educate you.
Right.
Like, I don't think that is my responsibility. When we have so much access to books and education out there, like there are ways where we don't have to be ignorant about that anymore.
So if you want to be an ally, learn a little bit and speak forward and ask questions.
Those conversations are important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
now, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, as we all know. Friends and family coming together, gorging. I know that's a good thing, right? But of course, in this increasingly divided political world, especially just after a midterm election, and now that Donald Trump's president, everyone's talking about politics, so things get heated, they get uncomfortable. So I guess the main question is, should people talk about politics at all at Thanksgiving?
No, never. You are never going to change somebody's mind by getting into a debate as you're eating your delicious food. And I don't want to be seething while I'm eating my stuffing and mashed potatoes and green beans. Don't bring it up. Don't bring up politics. Don't bring up religion. We're not debating. We're not changing anything. Leave it off the table.
I like a little healthy debate. An argument, yes, you don't want things to go too far, especially when the little alcohol gets involved. But I think it can be beneficial to have some of those healthy conversations. To me, I think a debate is healthy. You might learn something new. It might be a good way to engage with your family. I think it can bring you together.
Here's the thing. I think that in a perfect world, yes, the family, the diverse family that we all have, the many views on the political spectrum, what a great way to talk to each other about it. And that should be a microcosm of what the United States is, right? That would be great. But in reality, it gets crazy. There's arguments back and forth. And when you mention the booze or whether it's the drugs that are in the turkey that make you sleepy, it does raise concerns. And at the end of the day, day, you know, your family is the most important thing for most people out there. A lot of people out there, but you know, we're so indoctrinated into our political spheres right now that I wonder if just staying away from it is the best thing. I don't know.
It can bring you together, though.
I'm all for having that conversation. I have regrets about leading up to the last presidential election, not having more discussions with people that disagreed from me. I think we should talk about it. I'm just saying Thanksgiving is not the time for it, because that is like a lovely familial, you know, event. Like, it's supposed to be fun. Maybe the day after Thanksgiving, go ahead, go out on Black Friday. Everyone's already fighting each other in the streets for TVs. Like, have those debates then, but don't do it when it's like this. You don't get, especially people who don't get to see their family very often.
You want it to stay positive.
Yes.
Do you think it's harder now because now that we have social media and everyone's on Facebook, including my crazy, or someone's crazy uncle, I won't name names, or aunt, and they have interesting opinions, love them to death, of course. But I think now we know everyone's opinion before they even get in the room. So that already adds some tension to the situation.
Oh, I know my cousin thinks this or thinks that.
Yeah.
Here we go. I can see where there would be some apprehension or some pause there.
Right. I think that we can maybe split the difference, agree. If you are going to talk about it, do it before the booze cabinet opens up. And at the end of the day, end in a respectful way and try and find some middle ground. And maybe there is something we can all learn from it. Or if you're like Carly and her family, you're going to stay away from it entirely.
That combo until
Wait
the
till,
next day.
wait till the next day.
But I think that's the perfect point, though. Like, we have to be able to have these conversations and be civic about it. And but
Let's see.
Obviously, we know it doesn't always go that way.
So Black Friday can turn a lot of people off, but may have a lot of people turning their alarms on to get up early in the morning. But you don't need to spend time waiting in lines anymore for those great deals, because you can now hire someone to do that for you. Oh man, the side hustle is strong. They are called line sitters, and some of them cost up to $25 an hour. Is that a fair price to pay for time? Would you ever consider paying someone to sit in line for you to get a good deal on Black Friday?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, this could solve the unemployment problem for that day, right? There's a lot of people that want a deal. There's a lot of people that need to make some money. So hire someone to stand in line for you.
Oh,
Why
my
not?
gosh.
If you think about it too, like, you're probably gonna still save some money, because I'm guessing it's these
Some of the
big
deals are
ticket
so
items,
big, right?
So say you're paying someone $50 to stand in line for you for 2 hours, you're saving $200. Well, guess what? It works out.
Yeah.
I just feel like for any of the good sales, you have to be there a long time.
Right.
So do you give like half the money up front and then the second half? You know, I'm thinking about
If you get the
logistics.
deal, if you bring it
Because
home, yeah.
I feel like people would take your money and run off with your cash. Like, they'll be like,
You
I'm
do
not
it
standing
through
in
an
this
app.
cold.
They have it on apps too.
Oh, they
like,
do?
On
Okay.
TaskRabbit,
Wow.
that's one of the things you can hire people to do.
I don't know. I think
Crazy.
Yeah.
I just think the internet is out there now, and I've always been an apprehensive internet shopper. I love our local businesses, our
Really?
Small
Yeah.
Business Saturday. I'm not an Amazon guy. I don't buy a lot of things on there.
Really?
But when it's coming down to these sorts of things, if you're really looking to save money, you know, invest in the internet. And if you're really looking to save time, I think that's a really important thing too. Just go on the internet and do it. Although I gotta say, you gotta respect people's side hustle. You mentioned the economy, unemployment's really low right now, but everyone's trying to make ends meet. And if people are gonna pay for it, if there's a market for it, go ahead.
People pay for crazy things. This is not the craziest one I've ever heard.
Right,
Get
well,
your side hustle on, y'all.
yeah, well, we're all in this very task-oriented, you know, it's an economy driven by Uber, by Lyft. We have people drive for us now all the time. We have people run our errands, bring us food and Uber Eats, so I guess this is just the next iteration.
Yeah.
There you go.